Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and happy Monday. Let's start this week off right, and let's get into another speed duel deck. So, this week, I was actually requested / challenged. Could you make 3 different Sacred Beast decks? Can we make them all stand alone? The answer is obviously yes. And the reason it's going to turn into 6 decks is the first day, like today, I'm going to do the competitive list. Tomorrow, day 2 of each deck, will be the casual variant of the list, in which one does not need to actually follow the ban list. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, let's try to keep the comments civil. But let's get this deck profile, shall we? So we are going to use a skill from Kagemaru. Now, this is a great skill, and it does come with a bit of a cost. So, at the start of the duel, place this card face down in your spell trap zone. Because of this, you draw 1 less card at the beginning of the duel. At the start of your first turn of the duel, flip this card over. So this is much like the Call of the Haunted Bones skill. It is going to require a card out of your opening hand. So we need to make sure that the opening hand is going to be as streamlined as possible. What we're going to be using is Victory of the Shadow Riders, which is essentially opening of the Spirit Gates. So, when this is activated, add 1 Uriah, Haman, or Raviel from the deck to the hand. Once per turn, you could discard 1 card and special summon 1 fiend with 0 attack, 0 defense from your graveyard. Now, this is cool, and realistically, you do not actually lose out on the opening card of your hand. Instead, what this is doing is guaranteeing that the opening card of your hand is a Sacred Beast. Please keep that in mind when you're using this one, okay? Like, the monster economics of this, they make sense, but only if you talk that one through, okay? So, the rest of the deck is as follows. Since this is going to be Fiends and Raviel, I wanted him to have the easiest one, and I wanted to punch with more than 1 Raviel at the time. So I am going to be using Dark Summoning Beasts. Again, you contribute this card to special summon 1, insert 1 of 3 of them, from hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Monsters you control cannot attack for the remainder of this turn. You may only use this effect once per turn. You could banish this from the graveyard to then add another Sacred Beast from deck to hand. So this is another way for us to go ahead and just outright summon our boy Raviel. Next up, we're going to be using a couple copies of the Gravitic Orb. And this is part Fiend tech. This is part Cloudians are still in my area, so I got to clear them up. One of my friends suggested, they were like, could you just play like Goblin King? And I was like, yeah, I could probably play Goblin King. Goblin King would be kind of cool too. But he caps out at like 3K. It's a little harder to play him. But it is okay. And you could, again, once per turn, discard a card, special summon a fiend with 0/0 from the grave. Could come back. And again, if that's like your 3rd card to the field monster-wise, you're technically summoning him at 3K. So when I'm showing you the Gravitic Orb, and I'll tell you what, I'll go grab him real quick. This way you guys can see. It could be either or, but I'm just playing the Gravitic Orbs. Just to show the card off, we did get this alongside of our Sacred Beasts. So again, while you control another fiend, it can't be attacked. And again, the attack and defense do become the number of other fiends that you control. And also fiends that your opponent controls. So I guess I was a little bit wrong. And this guy could max out at like 6K right now. But again, he does fall under the 0/0 for the Victory of the Shadow Riders skill. So you guys could totally bounce this guy around as well, which is fun. So like Gravitic Orb or Goblin King, that's really your choice. If you want to be a little more aggressive, go with the King. I'm going more with like a tech build, so I went with the Orbs. Next up, another 0/0 that we can abuse and use. 2 copies of the Mad Reloader. Love him. He's absolutely ugly looking. But it's his effect that's amazing. So a lot of the time I like to have a set pass card, which is another reason why I play the Gravitics as well as the Mad Reloaders. The Mad Reloader, if destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, allows me to send 2 cards from hand to grave to draw 2 cards if I did. So again, I am going to be playing extra copies of Dark Summoner, stuff like this. This allows me to quickly bounce things around and manipulate into my graveyard so that I can do what I want. Additionally, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Raviel, even though our skill card is going to straight up allow us to just grab into Raviel to begin with. And there's a reason for this. Okay? I promise you there's a reason. And the reason is the first spell card. It's Allure of Darkness. So I don't really want to banish things like my Orb or my Reloader or my Summoner if I don't have to. But with the Allure of Darkness and knowing that I'll start with one of these means that I should be trying to draw into the rest of the setup in order to do whatever it is that I want to do. So again, playing the Allure of Darkness helps speed up the deck a bit. I'm also going to be running 1 Book of Moon. Obvious reasons, same thing with Cyclone. We're going to be running double Fallen Paradise, and it's partially for the protection. The opponent cannot target any one of these Sacred Beasts in your monster zone with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So they have to be destroyed by battle. And then if you control any one of those monsters, you can also just choose to just draw 2 once per turn for the heck of it. So again, once you do that, kind of use it sparingly unless you need the cards. From there, it's a little less struggle bus, and it's a little more of just getting over the opponent. The rest of my spells, 1 copy Nightbeam, 1 copy Offerings to the Doomed, and 2 copies of Shrink, just for the early battle. And again, this is another reason why the Orb is, in my opinion, slightly better, is it does start with 1100, and in a couple of times I do play against some clouds, I was able to flip it, because my opponent didn't want to attack it, whatever. I was able to clear the board of the clouds, set the Shrink, and then the next turn when they play another cloud, they go after it. I was able to maintain my Orb anyway by blocking for the turn. So it was okay. Guys, real quick, take the snapshot or pause plus notes to get you guys the main deck. And I'll be right back with the extra inside. All right, and leading the party will be the extra deck. Guys, it's a generic good stuff extra deck again. Nothing too crazy. Blue Eyes Ultimate, Cyber Blader, Cyber End, Destiny End, Ojama King, and Thousand Eyes Restrict. And moving into the side deck, 1 copy Book of Moon, 2 copies of Lost Wind, 2 copies of Mind Crush. Because again, like I said yesterday, having a bit of a love affair with this trap this week. And 1 copy Waking the Dragon. And I know that's weird. I normally toss in 2, but if you think about it, this deck is less likely to get hit by anything that's going after the back row, since we are using an absolute boatload of just spell cards instead. So really, the traps come in during game 2, 3. You do have the Offerings to the Doomed. You do have some Books of Moon. Jinzo, really a non-issue right here. And again, just kind of lets you just play better than the opponent. So, that said, remember, Goblin King is an option for this variant. And I do hope that you guys enjoyed today's deck profile. If you have and you'd like to support the channel, a couple of quick and easy things that you guys could do. You guys could like, comment, and of course, subscribe if we've earned it today. Additionally, if you'd like to help us out a little more directly, I will, of course, leave the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. But of course, again, that is 100% always optional. I don't want you guys to increase my budget at the cost of your own if it's not extra. So outside of that, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll have the casual variant tomorrow, and then we'll have another Sacred Beast on Wednesday. So till then, see you later and have a wonderful day.